Hello everyone, today we are going to be doing each tiny home is a different color. So first I have to start off with my shell, so I'm going to first start off with a pathway in the middle. I'm going to use this lovely stone from Get Together, and I'm going to carve out with this stone from Get Together to make it look a little bit more like a proper street. We are going to build 4 shells because today I'm only going to build 4 homes, but if everybody likes this, I will make another one where I do some more colors. I'm going to extend the street out this way, both ways, so that way our tiny homes each have like a little separate yard space, and then I'm going to continue to carve it out with this stone. Now we have our little street, and we can start building our shells for our tiny homes. So I think I'm just at first going to build out this small section here, and then I think I'm just going to come out like this, and then I'm going to make a little bay area and then come back around here. I want each of these shells to look a little bit different so we have some variety. So I think I'm going to shrink this down the slightest bit. I think I'm going to have this be more of like a loft tiny home. I'm just wanting to make sure that all of my homes look different enough to the point where it doesn't just look like the same home copied and pasted over and over again. I'm just going to start off with some generic shells where I just put down the basic walls and roof. We can go back and add like proper fences and stuff later when we have our colors. For this next shell, I think I'm just going to have one story where I take the one story and then I just take the outsides and I bring them out ever so slightly. This will make more sense whenever I add the bump outs, but I'm going to add the bump outs here and here. I might even make those a tad bit bigger. I'm going to do this roofing trick that I like to do a lot, where you pull in the roof, then you pull in the eaves, you hold shift to only pull in one side, then you copy your roof piece, you line it up, and then you just drag it in. And then you can also adjust this as much as you want, but I'm just going to copy this and I'm just going to paste it right there. Honestly think I might move this house to be in the front, smaller, so I'm going to add this house to the front, and then I'm going to have one of my bigger homes in the back, just so that way we have a little bit of variety. So for this next home, I want to add just one floor, but then I want to go up a floor, and I'm going to turn my grid on. Then I'm going to add a small bump out on the front. I'm going to add a second floor, but it is going to be a bit of a secret second floor. It's going to be like hidden within the roofing, so we're going to have a very tall roof, and it's going to basically go around, and we're going to have like a crowned roof. Take this roofing piece, we are going to rotate it, and we are going to adjust it so it is only one tile. And then we are going to extend it. We're going to extend it all the way up. Then we're going to copy and paste it all the way around. Now I'm just going to add a platform to the top, and I'm just going to add some platform trim to finish that off. I'm also just going to add a gabled roof to the front. I'm just going to take in my adjusters to kind of match the vibe of the rest of the home. And up front here, I want to have another miniature home. Maybe this can be like the smallest home. Like we have like a bigger tiny home over here. We have the two like smaller tiny homes right there, and then over here in this corner we can have the smallest. So I'm just going to pull a little tiny box here, and I think I'm just going to extend it out this way ever so slightly. So we have just like the tiniest little L shape, and then I'm going to take this hipped roof and I'm going to put it along the back, and then I'm just going to take one of these roof pieces, these gabled roof pieces, and I'm just going to take in the adjusters to match. Now I have all of my shells and I can move on to the lovely process of picking the colors. So we have our lovely wheel here with all of our colors, and I think I'm going to start with our smallest little tiny home in the front. So I'm going to spin our lovely wheel and we are going to see who's going to get our smallest little tiny home. What color is our tiniest tiny home going to be? Ooh. Our tiniest tiny home is going to be black. Okay. So our tiniest little tiny home here is going to be black. So I mean, first things first, we gotta start off with a dark black roof trim and some black roof paint. I mean, and some black fencing. I was thinking maybe we could go for like more of like a gothic look with this one, just because like, why not? I mean, it fits the vibe, it fits the theme. So I might look for this vampire's fencing, and then I'm going to put it in the front here. And then we're just going to raise it on a foundation. Very pretty. Now I'm just going to take this black brick from Cottage Living and I'm going to place it all over the tiny home. I'm going to take the black horse ranch stone foundation, put that everywhere. I'm going to take these vampire's columns and I think I'm just going to add them around all the sides here. So I have all the columns around all the sides. Now I just have to pick like a black wood to go on the porch here. I think I'm just going to use this one from base game, and I'm just going to put it here on the porch. And now I'm just going to use the matching railing. For the front door, I actually think I want to use this one from base game, because I don't think I ever really use it that much, and I think it actually looks really nice here. For my window, I think I'm just going to use these for get together, and I think I might add some windows on the back too. For the landscape, I think I'm just gonna keep it pretty simple, because I mean, like, we don't have any like black landscape obviously, so I think I'm just going to put some bland shrubs and hedges and quality, if I do say so myself. I just want to see now if we have any like plain black window boxes. I mean, we have these ones from Get Together, so I mean, I could put that. I could also use this from Get Together, which is also in black. I might also use the matching roof trim to that as well. Looking lovely, looking very nice. Of course, we need a black trash can and a black mailbox. For the yard, I'm trying to think of like what we could put in it that like matches our theme. We could put this from Life and Death, the black swing, and I could also maybe add like this lovely telescope. So this is our first tiny home in black on the exterior. Now we are just going to page in and we are going to start decorating our teeny tiny home. I'm going to copy and paste this black flooring on the inside. And here, I think that is where I'm going to add my lovely little bathroom. I'm just going to change it to this black and white tile from For Rent. And I'm going to use this black tile from Growing Together on the walls. On the walls on the inside, I think I'm going to use these from Life and Death. And I think I'm going to use a matching base game door for Narsim to get in the bathroom. I think right here in the front, I'm going to have a living room area. So I'm going to try to find like a bit more of a gothic black rug. I think I might use this one from Crystal Creations, giving it a little bit of a witchy vibe. I'm going to use this accent table from Cats and Dogs. I'm just going to put a TV on top. I'm going to use the Life and Death love seat, and then I might put this like, book nook chair as well. Black Businesses and Hobbies lamp. Black artwork on the wall, of course. I'm going to make sure I have a beautiful, beautiful bed. I think for our bed, I want to take it a bit more of the traditional Gothic route, since the rest has been pretty modern. And then for our nightstands, I'm going to make one of them a mini fridge instead of a nightstand. I'm going to use this beautiful black mini fridge from University, and I'm just going to pop a black microwave on the top. We can put another actual nightstand over there, and then we can put some stuff on it. I'm going to use this fancy lamp from Royalty and Legacy. I'm going to use these rose photos from Vampires. In the middle here, I'm just going to add a burglar alarm and a thermostat. I also think I want to put a plant on the wall, since we don't really have much room to put them on the ground. So I'm just going to hang this from Businesses and Hobbies in the more muted swatch, and then maybe I might find something to hang up on this wall here. I think I'm just going to use this corkboard, but with the black frame. And then I have our main room for our tiny home completed. It's very tiny. It's very like temporary home or vacation home or like traveling vibes. Maybe they just like living the simple life, who knows. But now we are going to move on to our bathroom. Kind of want to use the black Life and Death shower. And I'm just going to add a black base game toilet. I'm going to add a black robe on the door. And I'm going to add a black towel above the toilet. And over here, we're just going to add a sink. I'm going to use this sink from Vampires. This mirror from Get Together. These cute Get Together towels. Have to remember your toilet paper. I think that is it for our first tiny home. It's very cute, very modern, but also very gothic. I'm loving it. I think it's adorable. So next, I think we need to move on to this beautiful, lovely home here. For the next home, we're going to spin the wheel and see what we get. And we are getting green. Ooh, this is gonna be very, very pretty. Okay, so we're going to have a beautiful green home here today. And then I'm going to take this green roof trim and I'm just going to add that on. Now I'm going to take this beautiful siding from Growing Together and put that everywhere. To tie it together, I'm going to put some white columns. I'm going to use these ones from Get Together. I'm just going to add this white door from base game and probably some white windows as well. I'm going to use these beautiful base game windows. And because this is a green home, I feel like this is just an excuse to add as much greenery and landscaping as possible. I'm going to be taking these shrubs and putting them around the sides and in just random places. I'm going to add these green ferns. I'm going to use these grass pieces as well. I'm just going to add these low-lying daisies everywhere to close everything off. I added this green foundation paint from Growing Together. I'm going to use these mossy green steps. I'm just going to add this green mailbox from Businesses and Hobbies. And the green base game trash can up here at the front. I think I'm also just going to add some of these beautiful shrubs among the side here. And I'm just going to add this fairy light tree from Businesses and Hobbies. And now I think we are ready to go inside. I think I'm going to have the bathroom back here as like a way to kind of divide this space. So for the floor, I think I'm going to use this brown one from Cottage Living because it does have that bit of a green tint to it. And then I'm going to use this green leafy wallpaper. I'm going to add some green tile, and I'm going to add this dark green door to get into the bathroom. Green sink, teeny tiny shower. Do you dare me to use the green toilet? No, I'm not going to do that. It would be really funny if I did, but I won't use the green. I won't use the ugly green toilet. I'll just use the regular one. Over here, because we have a little bit of this grass clipping, I want to put a kitchen, so I'm going to use the base game green counters. I'm going to use the Cottage Living stove, Cottage Living fridge. I'm just going to use these white cats and dogs bar stools. I'm going to put a plant in the middle of the table because plants are green. I'm going to add a laptop here so your Sims can work. Add this small Cottage Living table, the green chairs, and then obviously I'm going to have to add another plant there in the center. I added some curtains, and there we go. I'm going to take these tiny living photos and the plant swatches. I'm just going to put these up on my wall. So I have this green Cottage Living table. I think I'm going to move this painting over here. And I'm going to add this green tropical art above the TV here. Add a beautiful hanging plant. I'm going to use this Businesses and Hobbies bed. These teeny tiny little Susan's nightstands. I'm going to use this one from Base Game. And I'm going to add this green crystal lamp. Add this dark green carpet. Then I'm going to add another greenery landscape photo right there. And I think that is it for our green tiny home. That is the inside. We have our tiny little bathroom. And we have the beautiful green outside there at the front. Okay, so now we are going to work on this home back here. Okay, now we're going to spin to see what we get. And we got yellow. Okay. Okay, so we got yellow. I mean, yellow is a very bright and frightening color, but it's okay. We can make it work. I think to start off, I'm going to just use this really pale yellow siding from Base Game, and I'm going to use the hay wallpaper from Cottage Living. Now, as you can see, my roof trim's kind of looking a little funky, so I'm going to use some roof pieces to cover that up. And then here in the back, I'm just going to add these big chimneys to cover up any clipping we have. For the columns, I think I'm just going to use these simple ones from Base Game. I think I'm going to use these yellow windows from base game. I'm going to add on the yellow shutters from Horse Ranch. I also kind of want to use this nifty knitting door for some reason, and maybe some yellow cottage living flower boxes. I just did plain white for the steps, railing, and the floor. Going to add this yellow trash bin from Lovestruck and the yellow businesses and hobbies mailbox, of course. For the landscape, I'm just going to put these rocks around to kind of carve out an area, and then I'm going to put a bunch of yellow flowers and landscaping in the rocks. Okay, so we have the outside of our little yellow cottage finished. I put some planters along with our yellow landscaping, and I also put these patches from Cottage Living. Now I think we are ready to head inside. I think we're going to start here in the teeny tiny little bathroom. Yellow growing together floor, matching yellow wallpaper, tiny shower, tiny toilet, a yellow sink, yellow mirror. I want to use this light yellow toned wood on both floors, and I also had to section off this part because the dorms are cutting into the building, so we're just gonna have an teeny tiny little bedroom up here. Under these windows, I want to put a TV and some curtains. I'm going to use this yellow base game accent table, and I'm just going to put a TV on top of it. I'm going to use this new rug from the new Tea Time Solidarium kit, and I'm going to use these yellow couches that I think are so cute. I'm going to put this table from Businesses and Hobbies. I'm going to put some sunflowers because it's a yellow plant. I'm going to put a beautiful yellow lamp in the corner over here. I can only use this growing together yellow speaker. Now we have our cluttered coffee table, and I'm just going to work back here on the kitchen. I have to break out Home Chef Hustle for this one, so I'm going to use the Home Chef Hustle cabinets. I'm going to use the matching appliances as well. So we have all of the matching stuff from Home Chef Hustle, and I'm just going to clutter a little bit. Just going to put this yellow picture on the wall, and I'm just going to add some aprons to the wall because I feel like it just adds to any home space. Over here, I'm pretty sure I want to do a dining table. I'm going to use this from Businesses and Hobbies, and I'm going to use the matching yellow chairs. I'm going to put a big yellow light over the table. I'm going to add this pretty plant on the table. I'm going to put this plant in the corner, and I'm also just going to put some windows on this side here above the table. I'm just going to place my burglar alarm and my thermostat. I'm going to put up these yellow shoes. And I'll also put a clothes rack. I think that concludes the downstairs of our yellow tiny home. So now we're going to move to the teeny tiny lofted bedroom. We're going to use this yellow bed from Horse Ranch. I'm going to put this base game yellow dresser here. I'm going to use the Small Businesses and Hobbies desk, the yellow pastel pop chair, the yellow comfy gamer computer. I'm going to use this yellow cat calendar. Over here in this corner, I think I'm just going to add an easel. I added some of the high school years CDs up here along with the easel, and I think our yellow bedroom is done. So for our yellow house, we have our tiny yellow bedroom in here, and we have downstairs this big open area, and it's all very yellow, and then we have the teeny tiniest little bathroom. Now in the back, we just have one more tiny home we need to work on, so we are going to spin for what this final home is going to be. So now we have our wheel, and we are going to click to spin what our final home is going to be. So we are going to get brown. Okay. So for our final tiny home, we got brown. So I'm guessing we just go very wooden if I were to make a guess. I'm going to use this brown roof swatch from Enchanted by Nature, and I'm going to use this from For Rent. For the siding, I'm going to use these from Horse Ranch. I'm guessing for the outside we just go very, very wooden. I'm going to use this door from Seasons, and I'm also just going to use the matching Seasons windows everywhere. I don't know how much brown landscaping we have that isn't dead, but I am going to put some of this dried grass around the edges here, and I'll probably just put a few rocks along in a few places. So now we have the outside of our brown home, and we can start to work on the inside. Alright, so I have the basic layout for the inside. So I'm going to have this tiny 4-tile wide bathroom over here, and then I'm going to have this small lofted area up, and then I'm going to have a balcony space right here that I'm going to put some activities on. I pretty much just did the exact same bathroom we've been doing, and now we are going to work on a living room space. I'm going to use this brown rug from the Industrial Loft Kit. I'm going to use this accent table from Cottage Living. And I kind of want to use the rundown brown TV from the Basement Treasures Kit. Of course, I'm going to use the Horse Ranch couch, and maybe a teensy tiny little brown fireplace over here in the corner. Maybe even a Horse Ranch rocking chair here in the corner. I used some base cam pictures above the door, and on the middle of this Horse Ranch coffee table, I'm going to put a Horse Ranch plant. I think I'm going to use the Cottage Living appliances. And I'm just adding the Horse Ranch cabinets. I also just want to make sure I add some clutter on the cabinets here. I'm going to use this teeny tiny bar top table from University. And I'm going to use the Horse Ranch bar stools. And I'm just going to use this growing together bookshelf. And I think that is it for our beautiful bottom floor. And we can now move to the top of the loft. I'm going to use this growing together bed. I'm going to use Horse Ranch nightstands. And I'm going to use these little sconces from the base game. I'm going to add this base game painting because it has the bronze frame and the bronze accents in it. I'm going to use the big Horse Ranch dresser. Dream home decorator plant. Put a base game clock on the table, and then over here in this corner I think I just want to add a desk. I'm going to use this chair from Crystal Creations and use the typewriter from Cottage Living. I'm going to use this Horse Ranch lamp, and I'm going to use this picture from Get Together. I'm also just going to add this easel here in the back. And there we go, we have our little lofted bedroom, and we just have to finish off by furnishing this balcony. So I put out this outdoor table and this outdoor chair, and I think I'm just going to put something here on this table as clutter. Okay, so here we have the final 4 tiny homes in a different color. Here in the front we have our tiniest black tiny house, we have our green tiny house, we have our yellow tiny house back there, and we have our brown tiny home over here in the back. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all next time. Remember to like and subscribe if you want more, and goodbye.